Sumita was a beautiful young daughter of a rich man in Rajagaha. She was able to penetrate the Dhamma at a very young age. One day, Kukutamita, a hunter, came into town to sell his meat. Once Sumita saw him, she fell head over heels in love with him. The next morning, when the hunter was leaving town, Sumita packed up all of her belongings and followed him silently on the road. The hunter asked, "Who are you, sister, and why do you follow me?" Sumita said, "I love you and am to be your wife." "Who told you to come?" "No one. I come on my own accord." The hunter then said, "Do not follow me further. I do not want a wife." The hunter proceeded to travel home, checking behind him every so often. Every time he looked, Sumita was there, walking behind his cart. He asked her again, "Why do you still follow me?" "I told you, I love you and I'll be your wife." "Go home, sister. You are not needed here." "I will not. I will be your wife." The hunter took a good look at her and saw her beauty, steadfastness, determination, stubbornness, and gentleness. He decided to take her as his wife. As time passed, she bore him 7 sons. All grew up to be hunters. They each married, and all of them lived in small houses in the forest. Every morning, when her husband arose, Sumita, doing the duties of a traditional wife, would prepare breakfast for him and hand him his tools and weapons before he left, just as he commanded her to. When he returned at night, she would take the weapons and tools and wash them. Then she would set them out to dry just as he instructed her to. One day, the Buddha entered a meditative state and surveyed the world, looking for beings who were ripe for attainment. He saw that the hunter, his sons, and their wives were all ready for the Dhamma. The Buddha went to where the hunter placed his traps in the forest. He purposely left a Buddha's footprint there, walked away some distance, and sat down on a large rock. When the hunter came to check his traps, he found that they were all empty. Not one animal was caught. When he looked down on the floor, he saw a distinct footprint and assumed that the owner of the footprint released all of his traps and stole his goods. He looked up and saw the Buddha not too far away. The hunter notched an arrow into his large bow and prepared to kill the Buddha. However, the Buddha used his supernatural abilities to prevent the arrow from releasing. The hunter could not shoot the arrow, nor could he lower his bow. He stood there in that position, shaking and sweating, not understanding what was happening. After many hours, Sumita was worried because her husband wasn't home, so she sent her 7 sons to check on him. When they reached their father and saw him aiming his arrow at a man but unable to shoot, they all pulled out their bows and aimed at the Buddha. However, they too were unable to shoot and stood there, shaking and sweating. After a few more hours, Sumita was worried about her husband and sons, as they had not returned home. She gathered all of her daughter-in-laws and set out to find them. When she saw her husband and sons pointing bows at the Buddha, she yelled, "Don't shoot! That's my father! Don't kill my father! Don't kill my father!" When the hunter and his sons heard this, they thought, "Oh, this must be my father-in-law," or "This must be our grandfather." They lowered their bows, paid their respects, and asked for forgiveness. At this point, The Buddha knew that they were ready to hear the Dhamma, and he gave them the Anupubbikatha. The Buddha explained that one must do good actions and generate good karma for oneself. One must also refrain from doing evil of any kind. Those who were successful in this will be rewarded with a heavenly rebirth filled with splendid things. However, like with all things, pleasure will come coupled with displeasure. Every advantage will come with a disadvantage. All sensual pleasures will have drawbacks. Namely, since they will not last, we will experience suffering when they change or end. Then we are destined to start the cycle over and try to earn our heaven once again. Even if we obtain happiness again, eventually it will expire, and the cycle will continue. The Buddha explained that only those who renounce pleasures and happiness can truly be free from the cycle of suffering. Since attachment leads to suffering, only through renunciation can we be free from that suffering. This is the path to Nibbana. After listening intently and following along, the hunter, his 7 sons, and their wives all overcame their attachments to belongings, including their bodies, and became Sotapannas, stream enterers. Later on, when the monks back at the temple heard this story, they praised the Buddha for his wisdom and compassion, but they questioned Sumita's actions. They wondered, if Sumita was a Sotapanna, why would she clean and provide weapons to a hunter who kills living beings? This must mean that she supports and participates in killing. How could a Sotapanna do this? The Buddha explained that if a hand that had no wounds, cuts, or openings were to handle poison, the hand would not be affected. Just so, someone who has no evil intentions cannot truly do evil. Sumita did not participate in killing, nor did she rejoice or encourage it. She was merely doing the job of a good wife. To her, handing him a bow and arrow was no different than handing him a spoon or towel. What do you think the moral of this story is? We hope you enjoyed the video. Click like if you did, and click subscribe if you want to see our uploads.